Audiobook Academy Biography presents Richard Rogers. Broadway musicals were transformed by Richard Rogers from The Sound of Music through Oklahoma to South Pacific, all of which had memorable plots, as well as songs that could be hummed along to. Richard Rogers, together with Jerome Kern, Lawrence Hart, and Oscar Hammerstein too, was a pioneer in building what became the definitive American musical, blending storylines from books and plays and producing seamless narrative from speech to song. In addition, he revolutionized the commercial side of the entertainment industry by allowing writers to retain ownership of their work. One of Rogers' musicals is being performed somewhere in the world at any given time, and someone is likely humming one of his most popular tunes at any given moment. Early years. Richard Charles Rogers, the prolific composer, was born on June 28, 1902, while his parents, Dr. William Rogers and Mamie, were visiting a friend's summer home at Arverne, Queens, New York. Soon after, the family moved to Upper Manhattan, where Richard's future songwriting colleagues Lawrence Hart and Oscar Hammerstein too lived just a few blocks away from the family's new home. There was a lot of squabbling and strife in Richard Rogers' family, in part because his maternal grandmother had a strong personality. He did, however, learn to play the piano as a toddler due to the fact that his parents and grandparents were big theater goers. His parents frequently attended Broadway musicals, and his grandmother loved opera. A hypochondriac as his mother was, she would play the piano when Dr. Rogers brought home the sheet music to sing the songs from the musicals he'd seen with them. It all fell into Rogers' hands, and his swift adjustment to music and harmony made him the family's favorite. Rogers' first melody was written at summer camp, where he was able to escape the stress of home life. By the time he was 15, he had decided to pursue a career in musical theater. The music of Jerome Kern had been a surprise to me. To his delight, in 1918 Richard Rogers was accepted to Columbia University, where his work would be featured in the school's renowned yearly performance of the Varsity Show. Richard Rogers' older brother Mortimer, with whom he had grown up in competition, ended up serving as the go-between for some of Richard's most notable business collaborations. Before his death in 1943, Lawrence Hart and Mortimer introduced Richard to Oscar Hammerstein too at an early Varsity Show. He and Hart formed an immediate partnership that lasted until Hart's death in 1943. Career in music. At the time of their first musical collaboration, Lawrence Hart was 7 years older than Richard Rogers, who was only 16 years old. As a result of their 1925 breakout success, Manhattan, as well as other follow-up singles and single album hits, many of these songs are now considered standards. 1940. 26 Broadway musicals were composed or co-written by Rogers and Hart. Oscar Hammerstein too and Rogers began working together in 1942, when Hart was too unwell to write, and continued until Hammerstein's death in 1960. The two lyricists had a profound effect on Rogers' music. In contrast, Oscar was more romantic and thus the music had to be more sentimental, he explained. Larry couldn't have written Oklahoma. Or Pal Joey. In the same way that Oscar couldn't have written Pal Joey. It was the success of Oklahoma in 1943 that inspired Rogers to take a more business-minded approach to his work with Hammerstein. To ensure that they and other authors could own their own work, Rogers and Hammerstein founded a business. As a result of their independence and financial success, the duo went on to become producers, supporting not just musicals but also plays, concerts, and national tours. Known for changing Broadway and musical theater, Rogers and Hammerstein were master storytellers who drew inspiration for their works from classic literature and stage plays. Carousel, The King and I, The Sound of Music, and South Pacific, which received the Pulitzer Prize for Drama, were among the duo's many classics from the 1940s and 1950s. In addition, Rogers and Hammerstein produced a special Cinderella television musical starring Julie Andrews in 1957, which was their only television musical. He cooperated with Stephen Sondheim and Martin Charnin after Hammerstein's death in 1960, and he became the first individual to win every major award in his industry, including Tonys, Emmys, Grammy Awards and 2 Pulitzer Prizes. In 1978, he was one of the inaugural recipients of the Kennedy Center Honors, which had just been established, and he was honored by President Carter. Many honors and scholarships were established in his honor by Richard Rogers in his later years, including those for the Juilliard School of Music and the American Theater Wing. Death and the Reputation. A laryngectomy in 1974 and a battle with jaw cancer in 1955 brought Richard Rogers victory before he passed away on December 30, 1979, in his New York City residence. Dorothy Finer Rogers, whom he married in 1930, dispersed his ashes at sea. Mary and Linda were the couple's 2 daughters. Mary wrote Once Upon a Mattress, while Rogers' grandsons, Adam Gettle and Peter Melnick, composed the Tony Award-winning Light in the Piazza and the off-Broadway piece Adrift in Macau, respectively, for their father. He received Broadway's highest distinction in 1990, a theater named after him on 46th Street in Manhattan. Rogers, an avid art collector, is famous for constructing a $1 million recreation facility and theater in his old neighborhood of Mount Morris Park in Harlem, New York. Between 900 and 1,500 songs are attributed to Richard Rogers, 85 of these are considered standards. His musicals have been adapted into 19 films to date. Perhaps no day goes by without one of his shows being staged somewhere in the world, according to one critic. Thank you for listening in Audiobook Academy. Don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button for more content like this. See you in next video.